This Cooper Flagg build can do it all. Our position will be small forward on this build. We'll be 6'9", 188 pounds, and a 7'2" wingspan. And then starting with our physicals, we are going to have an 80 speed on this build, which at 6'9", an 80 speed is pretty good. And you do unlock the Make It Rain takeover on this build. So when you have your takeover, you'll have an 87 speed at 6'9", which is just insane. But to go along with that 80 speed, we are going to have a 76 agility. The reason we're going 76 agility is because it's what we need to unlock on-ball menace on silver. Cooper Flagg is a great defender, and this build will have great defending, which we will cover in a little bit. But our strength, we're going to put this up to a 73. When we put this up to a 73, that will give us gold strong handle. I would have loved to get this up to an 85, but it's just not possible on this build, because at 85 we would have also gotten gold immovable enforcer. But unfortunately, we're just going to have to settle for that badge on bronze. And the vertical is very important. We're putting this up to an 80 because once we combine that with our driving dunk, we are going to unlock gold posterizer. We'll get Hall of Fame aerial wizard as well, and we'll unlock contact dunks on this build. So for our driving dunk, we're actually going to be putting this up to an 89, and then 89 is the requirement to get contact dunks off of one. But this is where you're going to use your first 4 cap breakers to get it up to a 93. That way you can unlock gold posterizer. Gold posterizer is considered a really good sweet spot, and honestly, I wouldn't recommend using your +1 on posterizer because according to 2K Labs, Hall of Fame and gold are virtually the same for posterizer. So I would save that +1 for something more important. Obviously, Cooper Flagg is a great finisher, so we're going to put our driving layup up to an 80. That way we unlock silver physical finisher, and that will also give us silver float game and bronze layup mixmaster. I would have loved to have 90 driving layup on this build to get gold physical finisher, but driving layup in this game is just absurdly expensive for no reason. But I think 80 driving layups actually a really good sweet spot, and you could even use your +1 on physical finisher to get it up to gold if you do like going for contested layups. But putting our driving dunk up to an 89 automatically put our standing dunk up to a 54, so we're gonna bump that up to a 55 to unlock an extra dunk animation. And you're gonna actually be able to work the post on this build as well. So we're gonna have a 79 post control, which is gonna give you silver post up poet and bronze powerhouse, but most importantly, it's gonna give you gold post fade phenom once we do up our mid-range shot. And 2K Labs actually tested this badge, and it's very good at gold. It's almost as good as it is at Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame's a little bit better on those edges of the green window, and Legend is absolutely insane, but I mean, we can't get it on this build. But in order to get that badge on gold, we do have to have a mid-range shot of at least an 80, but we are gonna bump it up to an 85. That way we can unlock silver Deadeye. You'll also get silver set shot specialist on this build, which in my opinion is more than enough to hit those open long range shots. If you do struggle with shooting in this game, set shot specialist is a good option to put your max +1 on, because getting into gold can help you knock down those shots a little easier. And we're gonna have an 83-point shot on this build as well. And the reason we're going 83-pointer is because that's the requirement for unlocking the Make It Rain takeover. And like I said before, the Make It Rain takeover gives you a boost to your speed, and you can have an 87 speed when you do have your takeover, but you'll also have a 92 mid-range shot and an 87 3-point shot when you have your takeover. So if you're missing shots when you have your takeover, I got bad news for you. But even with an 83-point shot, you should easily be greening all your shots when you're open from long range. If you're struggling with it, maybe you just need a new jump shot. Maybe you just need to practice. I will have the jump shot I've been using at the end of this video, so make sure to stick around for it. And then we're gonna have a 71 pass accuracy on this build. In my opinion, it's the absolute bare minimum if you're playing the rack. I have no problems with the 71 pass accuracy on builds like these. The 71 pass accuracy is just enough to get silver dimer to help your teammates hit those open shots. But if you come into the rack with a 6'3", 6'2", whatever height point guard, and you have a 71 pass accuracy, I mean, just leave, please. Please just leave. But you're not the point guard, you're not the main ball handler on this build, so a 71 pass accuracy will get the job done. And then we're gonna have a 75 ball handle. This is going to make sure that we get gold strong handle, and then we'll also get the other playmaking badges on bronze. You'll get a good amount of dribbling animations on this build. I'll show you guys later. And in my opinion, 75 is more than enough for a build that's 6'9". But what really sets this build apart is having your speed with ball up to a 75 on a 6'9". What this is is doing is giving you silver lightning launch, and lightning launch at 6'9" is a tier 2 badge, which means you can use your tier 2 +1 on lightning launch to get it up to gold, which is honestly kind of a little broken. Now, like I said earlier, Cooper Flagg is a great defender, and he's a great defender on this build as well. So our perimeter defense, we're gonna have an 85. This is going to give us silver challenger, silver on-ball menace, silver pick dodger, and gold off-ball pest. And we do get immovable enforcer on bronze, which I would have loved to have it on gold, but we just don't have enough attribute points to go around. And the combination of an 85 perimeter defense, these silver badges, and these height, it's going to be very difficult to score on you if you have thumbs and you can play any sort of defense. But to go along with that, we're gonna have an 80 steal. Now, I know an 80 steal is a weird number because at 79, you unlock interceptor on silver. But the reason we're putting this at 80 is so we can use our last 5 cap breakers here to get our steal up to an 85, which will give us gold interceptor. And gold interceptor at 6'9" with an 80 vertical is kind of crazy. When people start trying to throw those long range cross the court passes, you're gonna be jumping up in the sky to reach for those steals. It's pretty crazy. But I was debating on putting the cap breakers on either perimeter defense or steal, but I kept going back and forth between these two, and steal actually does cost a tiny bit more attribute points on this build than perimeter defense, so we get a little bit more attributes when we put it on steal. But you're also going to be a great shot blocker on this build. We have an 84 block, which once we combine that with our interior defense, we'll have silver paint patroller and silver high flying denier. And with an 80 speed on this build, and when you have your takeover, the 87 speed on this build, you'll be getting those chase down blocks like no other. But we do need at least a 70 interior defense to get that. So we're going to go actually past 70 interior defense and get 74. That way we also unlock post lockdown on bronze. And then we're going to finish this build off by having an 80 offensive rebound, which will give us silver rebound chaser and silver box out beast. You won't be horsing the boards on this build, but you'll get a few rebounds each game. And then we're going to finish out the build by putting our free throw up to a 62. So this is the full Cooper Flagg build. If you do have cap breakers, soon I'll start making these builds for 10 cap breakers, because as soon as we all start finishing the season pass, a lot of us are actually going to have 10 cap breakers from hitting starter 5, and then 5 more from all the season pass rewards throughout the year. And for spots to put your badge +1s on, like I said, for your tier 2 +1, definitely put that on lightning launch to get this to gold. There's a lot of spots you could put your tier 1 +1 on. Some places I would put it on is either set shot specialist to get that up to gold. You could even do something like interceptor to get this up to Hall of Fame, or even getting your physical finisher up to gold could be a good option as well. And then this is the build for the people who don't have cap breakers. The few differences you'll notice here is that your driving dunk isn't going to be a 93, so you don't get gold posterizer, but you could use your tier 1 +1 on this to get gold posterizer. You'll still get contact dunks with a 90 dunk, and the reason I put a 90 dunk is so if you do ever hit starter 5, you could put 3 of those cap breakers on driving dunk, and then you could put the last 2 on vertical. That way you would unlock gold posterizer. So it's optimized for not having cap breakers, but it's also optimized so you could use your cap breakers if you do ever unlock them. And unfortunately, if you don't have cap breakers, you're going to have a lower steal. So we have a 79 steal here, which is enough to get silver interceptor and silver glove. So with no cap breakers, the build is obviously slightly worse, but still a very, very good build in my opinion. And just like we did with the build for cap breakers, you want to put your tier 2 +1 on lightning launch to get this up to gold. You get shades of Scottie Pippen, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard on this build, which are some pretty crazy names to have company with, and then your two-way 3-level scoring threat. And this is my new favorite jump shot to use for these 6'5" to 6'9" builds. As we all know, the new season just came out, and Tracy McGrady, all of his animations were just added, and his jump shot base is one of the best in the game. So I'm using Tracy McGrady base, Troy Brown Jr. upper release 1, and Kyle Korver upper release 2, and this is the blending I use. Like I said in the last video, I'm not a huge fan of really fast jump shots. I've never really been able to get the hang of them. I know they are better, but I just shoot better on jump shots with like a B+ or A- speed. So that's why I have the release speed set about halfway here. If you want to get an A+ release speed, you can still do that by maxing this out. And then these are all the animations I would use on a build like this. You actually get a decent amount of dribble moves. You can get yourself open on a build like this at 6'9". I mean, the little guys are going to be reaching at you, and they're probably going to get some plucks anyways, but you know, that's just how 2K is. Everyone's just going to spam square. I personally made a modified version of this build, which is going to be my go-to build for this season. So if you do want to see that, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, let me know what you guys think of these builds and subscribe for more.